So today is day one. What's with that weird fucking glare on the screen? Anyways, today's day one of not smoking weed. I'm only gonna do this for 30 days as far as keeping track of the videos. And I don't know if I'm gonna do an every single day video of it. I guess we'll see, but it's just very enlightening that, it's only fucking 12:55. I stopped smoking last night, so it doesn't technically count until my first day would technically be, tomorrow or tonight around 1 a.m., tomorrow 1 a.m., however you look at it. And I just already feel so lost, and that is a sign that you need to work on yourself and that you need to quit whatever it is. And this even goes as serious as relationships. If you feel that you need to have somebody around because you can't go without seeing them, or you don't feel okay without them being around, then chances are you have become addicted to their presence and that you need them around, and you need to change that, because you should not be dependent on anybody or anything unless it's food, water, and sleep. The only things that you need as a human, aside from air, obviously. And so air, food, water, sleep are the only things that you actually need in this world. So any external object or thing that comes into your life that becomes a new habit should never become something that you are dependent on. This even can go with health. You go from being fat to being healthy, you go to the gym, but now you feel depressed or you're hard on yourself if you miss a day in the gym. I got news for you. You can go and get exercise, you can become healthier and lose weight or gain weight, build muscle by being outside and by going to the gym. It doesn't have to be or only go to the gym or only go outside. You can do both. Okay? And so it doesn't matter good or bad. We all have habits that we end up getting addicted to, and we end up, or dependent on rather, and we end up allowing our self-worth or belief of who we are, we let that fall into that habit, And so even for someone as me, always calling myself a pothead. If you call yourself a pothead, then you're going to believe this false narrative that you created, because you're not a pothead. You're just somebody that likes to smoke weed. It doesn't make you a pothead. Pothead is a made-up word, as is every word, realistically. There was a point where no words existed. But regardless, people put together these terms or label themselves as certain things, and then you get stuck in this own self-identifying loop of thinking that's who you are, and you're not allowed to be anybody different or do anything different. And so for weed, for me, again, I've only been talking for 3 minutes. It's only 12:58 now. Normally I would, if I start feeling like this or start feeling boredom, and that's where this truly comes from, is boredom, is I don't have anything to replace not smoking weed with. And so I'm literally fucking just walking around the house feeling lost, feeling out of place. It's because I have to create something new to replace that old bad habit. I need to replace that bad habit with a good habit. And it's not that smoking weed is bad, it's that I have become dependent on it, and I will smoke weed. Again, this is for me. I will smoke weed when I don't need to or shouldn't, whether that's around this time and I'm going to go to the pool and take a break from work. Well, I get high, and by the time I come back to work, I don't want to do anything because I'm fucking high, and I just want to go have fun and enjoy life. And yes, to a certain extent, that is what life's about, enjoying life. But you still need to grow and progress as a person, as a human, in order to get to a point to where you don't have to actually work and you can just wake up and live your life. But even then, you still need to have goals and ambitions as to what you're trying to become or what you're trying to do with your life. And so I know for a fact that it's not that weed is bad. to date, weed has still never killed anybody from just smoking weed. But weed is a big deterrent from me getting my work done. It highly affects my focus and me wanting to work, and I just want to chill or go do fun shit. It's not necessarily that it makes me lazy, it just makes me not want to do the nitty-gritty details of work, you know, of the boring shit. I would rather go have fun. And I've already noticed that over the past few weeks, and that is exactly why I'm quitting smoking weed, because I alarm cut off the video, but I know as who I am and who I want to become, it's not that I'm going to quit weed forever or that I might not smoke again, but I'm just not happy with who I am and where I'm at and the work ethic that I put out when I get high based on the Amazon stuff that I'm doing or online business. It's just like, it's so different for me, and maybe you can relate to this. If we have a junk removal job and I get high, I have to do the job, and I bust ass, and weed helps me get through that job, honestly. It helps keep my mind off of what we're actually doing, because junk removal jobs can get pretty fucking miserable. And so I know that I get high, and all it's gonna do is get my mind off of the actual physical hard work we're doing, and then we're still gonna get the job done, and I work just as hard, if not harder, depending on the job, because we wanna get the shit done. But when it comes to doing boring, tedious stuff, like learning something new within my online business with Amazon, that shit, it just, you know, I like to be doing stuff. So when you're just sitting there staring at a laptop, learning or emailing or cold calling, it's just not the person that I am. And it's something that I have to, at least in the short term, get better at, you know, because I don't have a team, it is just me. And so I'm not, you know, there is nobody that I can hire out to do all this tedious stuff, especially when a lot of it has to do with startups and getting wholesale accounts and all this, you know, shit that I'm not going to get into in this video. But I can't teach someone how to do it if I don't know how to do it, is the simplest way to put it. So I have to learn the skill first in order for me to teach someone how to do that skill. And smoking weed, man, just makes me not want to do it. Like, even though I know it's so easy, I just have to fucking sit down and learn and type and send the emails and do whatever the fuck. But weed just gets me distracted, and next thing you know, I'll be like, oh, I gotta post social media, or let me create this piece of content, because weed does give me good ideas, or my brain will switch to going and doing something that is completely irrelevant and not going to actually move the needle, you know, whatever that is. I mean, put the dishes up in the sink, like that fucking matters at all, and it doesn't. And so this is only day one. I mean, day one hasn't even really started. This is actual day one, but it has not been a full day since I have stopped smoking weed. Tomorrow will be day 2. But I just made this video to show that, like, you know, if you, regardless of what it is, whether it's weed, you know, junk food, doing drugs, some other type of drug, just whatever it is, you know, maybe you play video games too much and maybe your goal isn't to be a streamer and you just catch yourself wasting a lot of time, or doom scrolling for hours and you're not trying to make content, you're just scrolling, wasting life. You know, we all have these bad habits that we can work on and we can fix. And if it's something that you feel the urge is grabbing you towards, that you're dependent on when you don't do it, and you know it's not something that actually benefits you or moves the needle in a positive way, like choosing to eat healthy whole foods with minimal ingredients, if any, besides the actual product, versus a bag of potato chips that has a whole list of shit you can't even read. You know, if you are craving that, if you are dependent on the trash, if you are dependent on something that you know is not a good habit, or that is not moving the needle forward, even if it isn't detrimental to your health, such as smoking weed, it's not necessarily going to kill you. It's not necessarily going to make you lazy, depending on who you are. But is it going to help get you to where you're at? That's something you have to ask yourself. And for me, I just do not feel that it is benefiting me anymore. I do feel that it is a setback, that it is holding me back. I do feel that everything in life comes in seasons, and weed has been a long season. You know, I've only quit smoking weed one other time for 30 days. Aside from that, I've smoked for 12 years straight, and it doesn't make sense to keep doing it. You know, why not give life a try on just being free of any dependent, any need of any additional or external substance or relationship or whatever it is? Why be dependent on that? Why not learn and become who we were born to be, which is going to be people who are able to look internally, meditate, find new versions of their mental, find new areas that they've never discovered, find new things that really, you know, intrigue them and set them off to want to learn about them and become the best version of yourself, so you can become and reach that higher level of thinking, that higher level of, I don't even know what, that higher level of just like peace, of knowing that it's all going to work out and that it's all okay and that you're on the right path. But if you are allowing things, external forces or substances or whatever, to deter you from that, then that is your sign that that is not right for you. That you need change, and that change is not going to come easy. Change is not for the faint of heart. Change requires hard work and determination and belief that it's for a good cause. Because if you don't believe in the reason why you're doing it, then you're not going to quit either. You know, it's that famous saying with drug addicts. You know, it's like the whole family can want the drug addict to stop being a drug addict, but if the drug addict doesn't want to be clean and sober for himself, not for the peace of mind of other people, but for himself or herself, then they never will be free of that addiction. And that's what this all circles back around to with me with weed, to keep it as simple as possible, even though I've been yapping for 15 minutes probably. At this point in time, I've smoked weed for so long, I think I have smoked plenty of fucking weed for my whole life. I know for a fact that it is time for me to let go of weed and to be free of the dependency of it, and to experience life without any blockage, you know, without like experience life on a normal flat plane of how we're supposed to, without any external force like altering my mental, you know, without altering my cognitive, and truly become the person that I want to become. And so for now, it's just not meant for me. For now, it's time for a break. And who knows? Maybe I come back in 6 months, a year, 5 years, and maybe I never smoke weed again. And it doesn't matter either way. What does matter is that I am consciously making the choice to become the best version of myself. It's not going to be easy. It never is. No change is ever easy. But if you believe in yourself and you really want to accomplish great things, then you can do it. You just have to be willing to put in the fucking work and make shit happen. And so, if you have something in your life, a bad habit, a good habit, an addiction, anything that you are doing too much of or you feel deprived of, if you don't have it, I need you to ask yourself, is it really something that is benefiting you and that is pushing you in the right direction? Is it really serving you, or is it holding you back? And again, for weed, at the current point of my life, it is holding me back. And it's time for change. I know I yapped and rambled a lot. Some of this might not even fucking make sense. A few of the times I forgot what I was even saying. And I think a lot of that too has to do with allowing my brain to get a new reset on life and to achieve clarity again, and to achieve focus, and to not be so confused or overthinking with so many fucking things. And so I will see you all on day 2 of not smoking weed tomorrow, even though it technically will only be day 1 because it'll be 24 hours around 1 a.m. But we don't need to get into the specifics. Tomorrow is day 2 of no smoking weed. Today is day 1. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one, gang.